Google form is really helpful when you want to collect somebody's details. And when you need a call to action, this is when you actually use a Google form. So what I mean by call to action, you place an ad on your WhatsApp status or on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or on Telegram, and you want them to actually ask you for more detail. So the call to action will be, click on this link and I will share some more detail with you. So the link that you want to share with them is the Google form, so that they can input their information, their name, their surname, their cell number, their email address, and perhaps the country of residence, so that you can make contact with them and then share the information, inviting them to a presentation or inviting them to a call with you or whatever the case. So today we're going to create a simple Google form, and I'm going to show you how you can actually make use of the templates of Google form and then color code it according to your likes and dislikes and add fields and so on. Right, so what you need to do is you need to go to Chrome or Safari, and in the search engine you can type in Google form. It will then come up with a Google form, and you can just click on free online survey for personal use. And then you go ahead by clicking on Go to Google Forms. The moment it comes up, it will now show that you've got various templates that you can use. It will store your personal forms at the bottom, but it will have basically a few templates. So let's quickly go through them. If you're creating an event and you want an event registration, you will use this template. If you're selling t-shirts and caps and so on, you will actually use this type of template because it's already done for you, so you can just make a couple of modifications. If you're doing a party invite and you want an RSVP or whatever, you can use the party invite or RSVP form. Now, I'm going to, in this case, because we want to collect people's information, we just want to be able to make contact with them, we're going to select the contact information form. So by clicking on that, it gives us a new form with a couple of fields already in for us. So what you now can do is to modify it accordingly. Change the colors, put in the different headings that you want, add some fields, delete some fields, whatever the case. So let's have a look at, for instance, contact information. You can perhaps input that and say, please provide your contact information, and then you can maybe give a description. We will be in touch with you shortly once you have submitted the information. Right, so now you've put in your heading, you can put in name, or you can actually request them to put in their name and their surname by adding name and surname. You simply just click on that field, put in whatever you want. Now you'll see on the side here, there's a bar that gives you a short answer, paragraph. If you want a long answer, you can have a multiple choice, you can have check boxes, you can have drop downs, you can upload a file, and so on. So let's just stick to the basic options. We want the name and surname to be a short answer. The email address, you can select short answer, and that will be fine, and simply just put that in. And then we've got address. Now the address is physical address. Not many people would want to give their physical address. So I would recommend that you actually remove that. So you can select the dustbin and just delete that field. You can then move on to phone number, which is fine, and you can duplicate this field by then also asking them for their WhatsApp number, because sometimes people's WhatsApp number is a bit different to their phone number. So you've put in WhatsApp number, and what I want to actually explain is if you click the required field, it will always give you, they have to put a number in. So you can go and check that all your fields are actually required. All right. So that means that they will not be able to submit this form if they have not given that field. Comments is if they want to know more. You don't have to make that a required field. You can actually leave it in as is. But what I do want to show you is how to use the other fields, for instance, like the paragraph or the multiple choice. So if you wanted to use that, you can basically just duplicate the field like I've done on the duplicate. It just brought that down to below there, and you can change this heading. For instance, you can, for instance, give them a different options like, are you currently? And then you give them some options. For instance, they have to select one of these. So when you select the multiple choice, they can only select one of the choices you're giving. But if you select the check boxes, they can select more than one of the check boxes. So I'm going to select multiple choice for this one and say, are you currently employed? And then I press enter, it gives me a new field, unemployed. And I'm going to press enter and then self-employed. So you can just know a little bit more about them and they will give you the answer there. If you wanted to have a country, you can duplicate again and you can just say country. And you can select a short answer for the country of residence. Then you know exactly where they're from and so on. Right, so this is basically a very basic form, but now we want to quickly have a look at the look of the form. So we can change the color by clicking on the color palette here, where you can actually maybe change it to purple, for instance. And you can upload an image so it doesn't look like this at the top, but you can upload an image by clicking on there and select one of these images. So let's select that one to suit by the purple and you press insert. Now you can see the look looks a little bit better. It looks a bit more classy and a bit more attractive. So once you've done that, you can also have a look at changing your font style if you wanted to. You can maybe have it to a decorative font style, which I don't really like because it's a bit difficult to read. You can change it to a playful font style, or we could just go back to what we had, which is basic. That's my preference, is the basic one. Then you can preview this form. In other words, you can look at the form, how they're going to see the form when they actually enter your link. So once they put the information in, it's going to be inserted. So let's test it. Let's put in the information. Let's put in Joe Smith and Joe's email. And we're going to put in his cell number. And we're going to put in a WhatsApp number for Joe. And we're going to say he is self-employed, and the country of residence we're just going to put in there, South Africa, and that's it. And maybe he wants to give a bit of comments by saying, I need more information. All right, and Joe's going to submit this. So what's going to happen is that submission is going to be taken to your form. So to go back to your form, you just click on the top, it says Google Forms, and you will see that the one response actually shows there already. Now let's have a look at the responses, because this is a very important part. If you click on response, it's going to show the response right here. But what you don't want is, you don't want 100 or 200 responses listed on this page. So what you do want to do is you want to set up an Excel spreadsheet. The Excel spreadsheet will create and generate a spreadsheet with all their names already in the spreadsheet for you. So which is very nice. So you don't have to go and capture it. You can just go and open it now. You don't have to capture their names. It's already captured by the system for you. So it will tell you exactly the time, the date that they captured it, who they are, all the information that you have requested from them. And that is how easy it is. So let's go back to the form, the information. And the next thing I want to show you is to click on these three dots. Now, these three dots will allow you to get an email notification every single time that there's a new response. How awesome is that? So Gmail will contact you and will say to you, somebody has filled in your form, there's a new response, you need to respond. So I'm going to click that. So when you click on there, it will show that it's toggled with a tick, get email notifications for new responses. And you can actually select that. So the best is to really play around with your form, and the most important thing is to test your form before you submit it as a call to action on any of your adverts. So now what we're going to do is, how do we get the link? How do we actually send this form to somebody? How can they fill in this form? Great, so let's have a look. You select send here, and it then shows you can send it via email, but I prefer sending the link. So you can use the link to send via email. You can use the link to put on your WhatsApp status. You can use the link to put in any of your adverts that you've placed on Facebook, Telegram, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're placing it. So click on this little chain and it will give you the long link. But you don't want such a long link. So you ask Google Form to shorten the link by toggling this box, shorten the link. It will then create a shorter link, and you can press copy and paste, to copy it, right click, copy it, and you've now copied it. Or you can just click copy there, and it will copy that link to your clipboard. Right. Now, let's say, for instance, you have shared the link with somebody, and the link has been placed on their WhatsApp or on their email or wherever. It will then go to your form. The moment they put in that link or they click on that link, it will then go to the form. Now, obviously, I have already put in a response, so I won't be able to put in another response unless you allow multiple responses. You can also go and print all your responses. You can go and clear your form after you've done all your tests. You can say delete responses. You can download your responses to a .csv form, or you can just keep it into your spreadsheet. If you don't want this form anymore, or if you had a certain time period that this form was available, you can unlink the form. In other words, if they then use the link, it will no longer be valid. Right, so once you have copied that particular link, so once you have gone to send and you selected the chain and you shortened the link and you copied that link, you can now use that link on your clipboard in any of your adverts. And people can use that link as a call to action. The moment they click on the link, it's a hyperlink. So what a hyperlink means is when they click on it, it will automatically take them to that form where they fill in the information, and where the form will then be submitted to you with the information so you can contact them. Very easy. Nice to create a Google form, very easy to use, and very easy and quick to set up.